Welcome to Ledger and Kobe Live. My name is Brian Krogsgaard. Kobe, how you doing?
I just woke up like about half an hour ago. Woke up. So,
something about people that I host podcasts with, they choose to sleep all the way until the time we're supposed to record. Josh does the same thing to me every Friday almost. But I'm glad you're rested for the show. My voice is like halfway back versus when you asked me if I was dead yesterday interviewing the sushi team.
Yeah. The thing is, I don't choose to go to sleep. I haven't chosen to go to sleep for, I don't know, like months and months. I just stay awake for as long as I can. And then all of a sudden I wake up. It was never a choice. Sometimes I'm on the floor. Sometimes I'm on the couch. Sometimes I'm like in the bath. Today I went to make some toast and then I just woke up a bit later.
You need to get a SBF style beanbag chair, and then you just plop it right there in front of your computer.
I actually have got a chair now, but it's weird to like sit and talk.
Yeah,
like standing up feels normal.
Well, our guest today is no surprise to anyone or no stranger to anyone. Before we get to him, though, we need to let folks know this episode of Ledger and Kobe Live is brought to you by Blockfolio. Go to ledgerstatus.com/Blockfolio to download Blockfolio today. You can actually trade directly on Blockfolio now. And we're going to give away, I said $1,000. We're going to give away $2,000 because Kobe said we're not plebs or something along those lines. And in order to win the $2,000, you have to follow Path's instructions. We're going to tell you what to do in a minute. But first, go to ledgerstatus.com/Blockfolio and download it. And then we'll get your address alongside your competition entry, and Path will choose the winner. Thanks to Blockfolio for being our partner on these streams. Path, hello.
Hello. Thanks for having me on.
Kobe, can you introduce Path?
Yeah, so Path is the under 16s world champion for both musical chairs and for Ponzi schemes. He peaked around age 10. Got into crypto age 10. Tweeted me. He was like, "Hello, I'm new to Twitter. I'm 10. And I'm just looking for some trading tips." And then I taught him everything he knows. And I think now he's surpassed me and reached a new level of greatness. Known for the greatest hits such as Cursed Chart and the constant Zcash sandbagging.
Yeah.
How you doing, Path?
I'm great. Thanks. Yeah.
So is it true that you are actually 16 years old?
I'm 23, unfortunately. Yeah. I wish.
23, man.
23.
Are we calling 23
How
old?
long have you been in crypto?
I started when I was 15, 2013, early 2013. I got in, bought my first Bitcoin about $100 or so, I think. And that crazy run up.
And what were you doing? What were you doing as a 15-year-old in like in South, like, I don't know, Devon? I don't know where you're from. But you know, you're 15. You're in like, I don't know. Are you in sixth form at age 15?
Like, GCSEs
how did you? Yeah, you're doing your GCSEs. How did you end up buying Bitcoin and on crypto Twitter? Like, what happened in your life?
So I wanted an easy way to make money because I was like, I don't want to get a job. I wanted easy money. So what was I doing? I heard about Bitcoin when it was like $20, but I didn't really understand it. I thought it was a scam. I did ask my parents. They're like, no, it's a scam. Okay. And then eventually, like 6 months later, they let me buy some of my birthday money. So yeah, but I used to look for exploits in video games and stuff. Like I found a gold dupe in World of Warcraft. I was like, oh, that's free money. That's cool. So it was just easy ways to make money I was looking for, really. And then I got into crypto. I didn't really do much trading to begin with. I didn't even know how to trade. Like I bought Bitcoin and I held it all the way until the end of the year. And then at the end of the year, I was like, oh, hang on, I can actually trade this stuff by sending it to an exchange. It took me 6 months to figure that out. And then I got into altcoins on Cryptsy and stuff. I remember I saw Bill Steele, Coin, all that stuff. I think it was Max Kaiser who got me into it. I can't actually remember. Oh well, when I was like 13, I had a friend who was mining Bitcoin. I played World of Warcraft with him, and he was mining it in 2010. But I was like, okay, whatever, that's too complicated for me.
Wait. So what happened to this friend?
Oh,
Did he
he's
lose it all on Gox?
no, he's well, what happened actually? So he's on Twitter. He's called Zolion. But he sold, I think, a few Bitcoin in 2013. He bought a GPU or something with cash. He's like, oh, I've made free money. I just mined it on my laptop and I got a free GPU. It's great. So he did that. And then I think he did margin trading and so on. He did all right. Yeah.
All right. So you were just looking for ways to make money. You were exploiting video games, looking for a way to avoid getting a job, and you stumbled on to crypto. And then fast forward, like, I don't know, 7, 8 years or so, multimillionaire. What do your parents think? Because you're still like 5 or something. What's going on in your family at this time? Because most people, I guess the top of the 2017 bull run 4 years ago, so you would have been 19. So you're 19, cashing out as a multimillionaire. Did you tell like your mom while it was going up, like, oh mom, I think I'm a millionaire now? Or did you just like wait and like buy a house and move out and be like, peace?
Yeah, I told my mum before I bought a house anyway, but like my dad still has no idea how much money I have. I never really thought that much.
Should we send him the link to this?
No. Yeah, they're happy.
Does your mum think you're a drug dealer? Like, does she understand
crypto? She woke me up in the middle of the night once saying, like, are you a hacker? Like, how? she really thought I'd done something illegal to get. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, maybe you did. Maybe you did.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe you did.
Depends on the jurisdiction, I guess.
Yeah. Well, we're in England. Like, all your tweets are illegal here. If like some of those collectibles behind you are probably legal. The wings look a little bit sharp on that. Could be considered a knife and taken away from you under the Terror Act.
Well, definitely.
So you started trading. At what point did you realize that you were like a savant? At what point did you go like, holy shit, I'm like God?
Maybe like probably 2017. It was like, oh, okay, I've actually made it.
But not just made it, because like, you can like, you know the popular bell curve meme where there's like 50 IQ, they all make it. They say Ripple's going to go to $3, and then it did. And then there's the 100 IQ middle of the bell curve where they overthink everything. They say, well, no, this can't possibly keep going up. It's already gone up 5 times this week, and blah blah blah.
That's where.
And then there's the 150. Yeah, I'm in the middle of the bell curve, so I just got to dumb myself down when trading to try and win. And like, you're firmly in the 150. You're like predicting using like fucking algorithms what's going to happen in the future, and then it happens almost down to the fucking candle. That's the 150 bracket. That's like, what point did you realize you were in there? Not just that you made it, but that you could see the future.
I think the Litecoin halving pump in 2015, I was like, oh, well, this should happen. When I charted it and it happened like exactly. I'm like, oh, hang on. Wow, it's that easy. So I just kept doing that.
So can you tell us plebs, like there's, the plebs in the chat, I'm a pleb, ledgers all right. Can you tell them what the process is? Like when you did cursed chart, or, some of these charts where it really just looks like you got a sort of blue script, a blue script, is that a word? A blueprint, a script and a blueprint for the market. Like you just saw the future and went, it goes like that, it goes like that. That's the exact top. It'll crash to there on this day. Not just like you got the prices right, like the dates right. What's the process? How did you do it?
Oh, so with Curse Chart, I was targeting 25,000 anyway as a sell target. I thought, like, well, at that point, it's parabolic enough. Also on Coinbase, we moved up to 20,000 in like a flash spike one day. So I'm like, okay, well, there's probably liquidity around there, so that's a good target. And then I was thinking like the CME news, that was a day it topped. So I was targeting that. I was like, well, people are probably buying up to this fundamental event, but like, see, the market's so overbought, it's so parabolic at that point. There's not going to be any more buyers in the like traditional finance world. So, and also like it will mean more liquidity comes in. So the way things trade probably changes as well. Like They'll be different. There'll be bigger participants. There'll be more hedging. It'll be more efficient. So I thought it's probably a good time to take stuff off the table. Yeah, and then it crashed from there.
This doesn't explain how you had like a chart fractal that like executed down to the T with both curse chart and then with blessed chart as well. When we broke out from the bear market almost perfectly on your prediction. Like there's two explanations. There's one, it's just you. There's one participant in the market. It's just you. And you just like move it around and it's all like a big cosmic joke for you to like entertain yourself. I mean, like, you know, you're 20 years old, bored at home, there's a pandemic. What else are you going to do? Yeah. But the other option is like, you can see the future. Like you've done it several times. We need to know how.
So usually I look at like old Bitcoin moves or other crypto moves and like sort of like carry them over and say like, okay, something similar will happen because it's mostly just speculation and so on. And then usually plays out similar to that. Yeah, just fractals really. Like
throughout history to find clues about the future. I can't pronounce the word. I can never pronounce it. Like anthropological
anthropologist.
There you go. So you're both more eloquent than me as well. Just like to alert you both that from the moment we went live, Bitcoin has just only gone down.
Yeah.
It's because Path's not there market buying. So this confirms the theory that there's one market participant. It's just Path. He's propping it all up for everyone. You're very generous, letting everyone else get rich.
So Path, I just pulled up the curse chart low and the actual low, and I think they're within about $200.
It was, yeah. So I was targeting 2,500 bottom, and the bottom was 3,200, I think. Yeah.
And then there's the blessed chart as well.
Yeah.
We will have to find.
There's been a few. Like it's one, you can be like it's fluke. You know, like anyone can do one. That crypto burb guy sometimes gets it right, and you know, but I'm sure that's not intentional. But
that one's not
when
so
there's
good.
like when there's multiple down to the T, it becomes quite impressive, and it gets to the point where when my position is opposed to your position, I go, well, fuck it. I have zero conviction in myself now. Path disagrees with it. I'll just skip this one. But in doing like trading is not only pulling up a chart, being able to put the future on TradingView and then watch it sort of play out. How do you have the conviction to execute, or do you has there been a time where you've seen the future on TradingView, you've painted the future, and you've completely fucked up the trade and made no money, or like you've lost money?
I've never completely fucked it up. On the blessed chart, I wasn't long at the bottom as much as I wanted to be, really, because I was like, oh, it's kind of just bleeding out. There's no momentum. And then we had that one day where it went up like 40%, whatever. I'm like, okay, it's going to happen then. So then I added more. They tend to go pretty well.
I can't find the blessed chart, but
yeah,
I'll link it. Hang on.
Yeah, he's not gonna let it not be pumped on stream. Here we go.
Oops.
Blessed chart.
So where in the wow?
Yeah, dude.
How is that possible?
And these are just like fractals of all like altcoins. So blessed chart was
Ethereum.
Yeah, so it's just an old pattern, and you've cloned it for the future, matched it up to like current scenario, and gone. If history repeats, it'll probably look a little bit like this.
Yeah, pretty much. For Zcash, I've been quite optimistic. I've taken Ripple. Your
Zcash one, I think, made me the most angry, because I was like, Zcash was $70, and I was like, Zcash is definitely going to $150 or $135, and I swear the next day you were like, Zcash is definitely going to $1,500, and I was like, you just made my target look so absurd. So far, it's following the script though.
Close enough. Yeah, we kind of went down when Bittrex delisted it, but that was a great buying opportunity.
Did you reload when that happened?
I did. Yeah. I sold on the announcement, and then when we were going sideways at 50, I'm like, I might as well get back in, because like Tyler was tweeting about it, like, we're not going to delist it. So I'm like, okay, it's probably just
So this was my This was my gig-along chart, and I was saying it would go where it is today. I didn't know it would be so underwhelming, by doubling that it would be underperforming still, but I guess that's classic Zcash things. And then your number is like somewhere up here, well beyond anything that I could have dreamed of.
Do you feel a level of responsibility now that there is sort of like a religious group that sees you as like sort of shamanistic or like a future seer? Like you've had charts that just come true, so now all of your charts must come true. And does it put a burden on you before you like share them, or do you feel like a sense of responsibility, like there's going to be some dude who's working his like night shift and he just wants to get out of this like rat race, so I'm just going to follow path to greatness, he's done it so many times before?
I feel like if I ever think it, I'll probably lose the magic, so I try not to, but I am kind of worried about the risk people take following it. There's one guy who was working at McDonald's and he was just following my Ethereum chart. Have you pulled up the Ethereum chart actually?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now he's going to show off.
But yeah, he was just following that, and he made an incredible amount of money. He doesn't have to work anymore. I think he quit.
He quit his job because he followed your Ethereum call?
Pretty much, yeah. He did sell the exact bottom the other week at like 900, but
where was he? Where did he go in on his long from?
I don't know. Maybe like 400-500 or so.
Okay, so he played like that off that consolidation in October or something?
Yeah, I think so.
So you led someone to retirement off of one trade.
Well, they manage their risk, so I can't take any responsibility for it.
That's amazing. Hey, let's take a chance because we're going to get inundated, or you're going to get inundated, Path. You have to @ Cryptopathic on Twitter, and you have to, he's an NFT savant as well. We haven't gotten to that part yet. You have to send him an NFT buy recommendation, and he will choose the one with the greatest value. So whichever one he decides is the most likely to be a quality value, he will choose. So that's the winner. Whoever he picks will win $2,000 on Blockfolio. And then you just have to use Blockfolio. Go to ledgerstats.com/Blockfolio. I'll need your Ethereum address so that the winner can be chosen. And you will dually find the trading experience of Blockfolio to be a delight. And you will get $2,000 thanks to Ledger and Kobe Live and Path's choice of whoever's destiny it is to receive $2,000. But you have to send him a quality NFT that he would purchase. Tag Path, send him a link to an NFT. If you win, I'll get your Ethereum address by DM on Blockfolio, and off we go. Path, I apologize for your mentions.
They're coming in.
They're already coming in?
Uh-huh.
Nice. Somebody wanted your current thoughts on Bitcoin.
I'm still bullish. Yeah, I think we'll probably see 60,000. We did have like $1 billion of margin longs open on the Tesla newsletter. So if we don't get another big institutional buyer, then we're kind of screwed. So that's kind of being priced in. I think there's a lot of people waiting for that to happen, and like that's their exit liquidity. So yeah, we need the trend to continue. I think it will, but yeah, there's a lot of people betting on margin at the moment that stuff like that will happen, which is kind of scary. But it doesn't necessarily mean we'll just collapse. It's just,
yeah. So you think 60K is like kind of a near term target for people's liquidity, and what do you think for the year?
I don't know. I think like long term, like 250,000 or so, I'll probably take a lot off the table and then just like stop trading.
Will you buy an island? What will you buy for $250,000 Bitcoin?
He's gonna put it all into CS:GO skins.
Pokemon cards, yeah. Can't go wrong.
What will you do if you're gonna stop trading? What will you do with your life? Like, what's the plan?
Well, if we're still in lockdown, it's nothing. I'm doomed.
I mean, like not in. I don't mean like in 2021. I mean like for perpetuity.
So before lockdown, I was doing like volunteering and stuff, and just getting out there and traveling because I haven't done so much of that. I just want to get out there more, enjoy life. And then after that, I'll have to figure it out. But I've got forever. So
are you gonna go live like MySpace Tom?
He does photography,
MySpace
right?
Tom's my idol, man. MySpace Tom's my idol. He's just like, he built something, people liked it, he added like some value to the world. He didn't, spend all the time trying to get you to click on ads and influence like global politics and make the world worse. He sold it to some people for like loads of money. And then he just went traveling for a bunch of time until his product went back to zero, and then he rebought it and was like, cool, sweet, best trade of all time. I sold this like 10 years ago for like $1 billion, and I just rebought it for like 10 mil. He's a legend. Cool. So
It
in my
sold
mentions,
to News Corp for $580 million.
He dumped on News Corp. He's a genius. He's
Great,
my idol.
great.
I also just like how he lived his life afterwards. He was just like, okay, cool. I've made it. Enough's enough. I'm gonna go like explore the world and see, like do things that I would never have got to do. I think that's good. Like Peter Thiel spent his time like taking blood out of young people allegedly, and like influencing politics. Like, just have a nice life, mate. There's like loads of good stuff to do. So in my Twitter mentions, I'm getting a lot of so Cryptopathic is very hot. Market sells off as soon as CryptoCobain reveals Cryptopathic is actually Harry Potter. Does Path have a girlfriend? Is Path single?
I have a girlfriend. Sorry, guys.
So not only are you the greatest crypto trader of all time, but you also have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
I think you're the only crypto trader with a girlfriend. Can you tell Twitch chat how this happened?
I met her online.
How's online, like crypto Twitter or what?
No,
Did she follow your trading view charts?
no, nothing like that.
Is she a witch?
She isn't, as far as I know. Maybe.
You have to be like in the point, like in the realm of how rare is this hash mask, being in the 0.05% of crypto traders and the 0.05% of crypto people with a girlfriend. Like you have to be like a hash mask equivalent of the golden halo, right? On a mystic.
Oh, absolutely.
There's not a lot of overlap on that Venn diagram.
Yeah, you're gonna have to send some tips to Barney because he's like fucking. he's going insane, dude. He needs some help.
He's posting like every single day.
Yeah, I mean, he's lost it. He needs help. So I've known you. We met in real life a few years ago, and we've chatted since the 2013, 14 sort of market cycle, I guess. I was chatting to a teenager and I didn't know it, just me like online chatting to a 15-year-old. Cool. Didn't realize at the time. But one thing I've noticed is that you always have like sort of a good grasp of the macro like position, like the macro position of like global economics, but also macro trends. Like you've been early on collectibles, digital collectibles, and like caught a lot of the GameStop moves, the top of the GameStop move, those kind of things. How, like, outside of crypto, how much time do you spend like researching these things? Is it just born out of genuine interest, or
it's genuine interest? Yeah, so I pick up a lot of it just on Twitter and then do some research, talk with some friends about it. But yeah, like with collectibles, especially like in COVID, people are stuck at home all the time, so they have nothing else to spend the money on, right? A lot of the disposable income is going that way, so that's why that market's performed so well. And then it's interesting trading like smaller markets in crypto as well, because then you can sort of get a perspective of like So in Bitcoin, I'm relatively small as a trader compared to like these funds that are buying billions of dollars worth. But then if you go and like you trade collectibles and say there's a collectible you really like and you want to corner the market, you want to buy all of them, suddenly you're sort of in their position. So it gives you a different perspective of how things trade, and that can help with your like macro views of things.
So what you're saying is you're the Elon Musk of Pokemon cards.
Some CS:GO skins.
What are some of the popular like I don't know, like categories of NFTs? Like I know hash masks and punks and top shots, but I don't like I'm a noob in that landscape of like what else is maybe not so big that, you know, there's millions and millions of dollars, but it's still popular if you kind of dig into the NFT space.
Right. So punks I think has the biggest market cap out of all the NFT collections, like 100,000 Ethereum probably. If you were to add them all together. They've done like incredibly well over the last few years. And then NBA Top Shot's relatively new. It's just free money at the moment because they keep the packs limited. So like if you can get a pack, you can turn $30 into like a few hundred very easily. Those aren't the right punks, though, I don't think.
Yeah, I was trying to find.
There you go. But yeah, so Hashmouse is like relatively new. Hashmouse is really interesting because it's like it could also be a puzzle. It's quite inspiring. I think like people will definitely make projects that are similar to it. Like there'll be like an ARG game built into all this art.
Do you think there's going to be anything to the NCT token? So like Hashmass is just kind of the first one that operates on a similar platform. Like there's different art that is distributed similarly and has the same token on the back end.
Well, yeah, you could do that. That'd be interesting. Yeah, if they because like for the people who made Hashmass, they have loads of money now. I'm sure they'll make another project, right? They can fund whatever they want.
Would you? I wouldn't. If I made $15 million for like paying someone on Fiverr, paid someone on Fiverr to draw some masks, and then just like gave them out, made 15 mil, I'd go, that was it. That's it. That was it. Well done. Like, because people will find like pareidolia, like they'll find meaning in the noise. So even if there's no puzzle, someone will work one out. Like there'll be some mistakes, and people will find me. It's like QAnon. It's like the QAnon for hash masks. There's no puzzle, but some people are going to figure one out by themselves. I just go with the money, 15 mil, put it all into fucking shit coins and run.
Yeah. Okay. Fair
all right, Pat. This is my entry for the competition.
Okay.
Because it's toilet paper, and I've not seen one with a medical mask on it and no hair. So I haven't done the calculation on this, but I feel like three ETH is a bargain for this little guy, and his name's Pump.
I'm good. Someone linked me Jar Jar Drinks, which is the one I said I wanted, and someone like front ran me and bought it before I feel like that's cheating because I already said I wanted that, so I'll have to pass.
Where do you like to look for NFTs? Like OpenSea's kind of a catch-all, right?
Yeah, OpenSea. That you can look at anything on there. I think pretty much, except so the other big one is Nifty Gateway. They have a lot of famous artists on there, but all of that it's a centralized exchange. All of the NFTs you buy on there, they're still minted on the blockchain, but they're held by Gemini. So Gemini runs all of that. But yeah, it's really good for any like people who wanted to get into NFTs because they'll handle the technical end of everything for you, so you don't have to go through like Rarible or anything, and you get like huge publicity. Like Justin Roiland did some sketches and he made like 2 million in 15 minutes or whatever.
Wow.
So yeah.
So is this where like the biggest concentration of real money is on here?
Yeah, for art I'd say, yeah. For like outside of collectibles, for just straight art, yeah, I'd say so. Because like you have Beeple, Lushucks, if that's how you say it. Yeah, there's a lot of big artists on there, and they do new drops every week. Also, like for flipping them, people. Well, it's kind of dried up now, but like one of Justin Roiland's one, it was listed for $10, and then one sold for $1,000 like an hour later. So if you get the right stuff with the right brand name, you can make easy money on it as well. But yeah, I'm happy to hold some for a long time as well. And I have one of Beeple's as well. So Beeple's shipping physical editions.
Okay.
Soon. I think he's going to start like this week or so. So I own the Into the Ether one.
This is small amount of free alpha. People will be on the stream next week, Thursday, same time.
If you heard that, then you're in luck. It was a little hard to hear.
I was trying to do some like ASMR shit, but maybe it didn't work.
It's okay. It's okay. We don't need to spoil it too soon. But you bought Into the Ether. What's it mean by 207 editions minted?
So it's an open edition. When they do open editions, you have, I think, 5 minutes to buy it, and then after the 5 minutes are up, that's it. You can't mint anymore. But it has a fixed price in those 5 minutes that it's up for.
So you're speculating on how many people will actually pull the trigger at that price, then, right?
Yeah. Well, like if it's early on, like because I wasn't on Nifty Gateway at this time, so I had to buy this one on the secondary market. But it's still got, like, you can look at, if you go to secondary market, so the initial listing price was $969, and then on secondary it's like 10,000 now, I think.
Wow. Okay, so the people that bought it in that 5 minutes got it for $969.
Yeah.
And now they're selling for tens of thousands of dollars each. And there's how many? There were 200 of these?
207, yeah. So lower serial numbers will be worth more as well.
So is this like some of the most expensive art in the world? I mean, when you put all this together?
Yeah, you can sort it by like cheapest. So like most of that stuff won't sell probably, but yeah, it's pretty cool because it's sort of like it's a new sort of art form. So people are excited about it. They'll pay a lot. And also loads of people have loads of money in the space at the moment. So it's, yeah.
So what is your exit plan for some of these NFTs? Because the other day you spent, what was it, like $200,000 on a hash mask, and like, what's the plan? Like, are you intending to sell that for $2 million in a year? Are you you just like it, going to keep it forever? Are you expecting to live in virtual reality and it'll be on your wall?
Path, can I dox your OpenSea account?
Yeah, sure, go for
it. So go ahead and answer the question, I'll pull it up.
Yeah, so sort of a mix of both. Like, I like it, but also I'm gonna hold on to it and see if we can get a good price. I'll get a good price. If not, then oh well.
So this is the one. This is the one they're talking about. You paid $775.
Yeah,
you paid 75 ETH for a Mystic.
Yeah, so that's the cheapest one that's sold so far.
Okay, so you basically bought the cheapest Mystic that was available.
Well, most of them aren't for sale. It's pretty difficult to get prices because the people want them. They're like, people who own them, they're like, give me 300 Ethereum, or I won't sell it. So,
the only other Mystic that went right was the one for 420.
Yeah, the one Danny bought, I think.
Gotcha. So, what's the scale of value on these? Like a big collection. You were talking to me a little bit earlier, like what you think the low dollar stuff will be and what versus how the high dollar stuff will react in the market.
So yeah, typically like in art and collectibles markets, the higher end stuff performs better, like even in terms of percentage. Like if you look at Pokemon cards, the PSA 10 first edition Charizards, they perform like incredibly well because everyone who has them, they don't want to let go of them. And like the people who buy them, they have loads of money anyway, so it's not really worth their time to sell it. So you just have this liquidity crisis on the supply side. So like if anyone actually wants one, they have to pay whatever people are asking. So that's the deal with art. That's why it's there's a lot of money in it. Yeah, like people like they get incredibly invested in, like emotionally invested in their investments, like a shitcoin or whatever. But with art, people are like that normally. So if you double that as an investment, then it's like just go to insane prices. That's why punks have gone off so much. That's why they've outperformed Ethereum. They don't want to let go of them.
What I like about NFTs is it reminds me of the old coined up crypty days where instead of feeling like when you trade on Uniswap now, it feels like there's 10,000, 100,000 other participants in the market. Whereas when I traded on Coined Up back in the day, it felt like there was 5 people all trying to outsmart each other. And trading NFTs feels similar. Like there's you and one other person that's trying to buy this thing, and it's just like some game theory about how you're going to get it from them at the price that you want. It's so illiquid. You like getting in, getting out. It's sort of thrilling. That's what I liked about it, but you are much more experienced.
Well, Mars were really fun when they came out, right? Because you have all these like different rarities and like different traits they can have, and then you have to kind of figure out there's like who can get all the best information first, like figure out what things are worth, and then you can snipe things. So like I sniped one for 2 Ethereum, and then I sold it for 15 like a few days later. So there's
you
easy
also
money.
sold your Chinese symbols underneath those.
Yeah, true.
Wait, you sold a Chinese what?
There's like a Chinese poem hidden in some of them, and
Oh.
I got one and I didn't realize, and I sold it for full price. So yeah, gotta have a good eye.
So when you do these, do you try to get your initial out kind of early on as they're being released and hyped up, or do you just let it roll, or what?
So yeah, I sold off some, but like I'm happy just owning this high tier one. That's what I was after, really. Got like for a good price, so I'm just gonna hold that, and I'll probably sell off some of the cheaper ones over time. But
yeah,
if for people who are like looking to make quick money, I wouldn't. If you want to flip like drops and stuff on Nifty Gateway, that's probably the way to go, because there's not much liquidity when it comes to this stuff. There's no guarantee you won't get screwed over. So don't like put all of your money into it. Like if I was a trader with like not a lot of money, I wouldn't go too hard into this, because yeah, it's very liquid. We got a question from Nick Gorilla. Did you sell your NCT tokens? I sold half of them at 30 cents, I think.
Well, you marked the top on it then.
I think it went to 50 at one point, yeah.
Did it really?
Yeah, on launch day.
No, it went to like 60 or something.
Wow. Well, I'm just plebbing it up here.
Turban, do I stand all the time or just on streams? Yeah, I stand just on streams. I don't like talking while sitting down. It makes me feel really weird. I have to like stand up to talk. I can't do it. I like if someone calls me, I immediately start pacing around. Just answering chat, sorry. Path.
Yes.
What is the end game of this sort of global macro economic situation where we're printing money, crashing reserve currencies and destroying savers? Like it's becoming really impossible now to save, forcing people into inflated assets over the last year. Everything's gone, totally nuts against the dollar. Pokemon cards are going crazy. People buying hash masks. You own $400,000 of CS:GO skins. Like really, really, really fringe stuff is going crazy.
Yeah.
Obviously, this asset inflation leads to further inequality. We've seen a lot of like the left start to demonize sort of billionaires or asset holders or rich people. Also now everyone's an options trader too. So people have realized that there is no way out. So they've decided to gamble on options. Like mom and dad are now options traders. Like what is the end game? Where is this going? Like what next?
Well, it's really dangerous, right? Getting everyone into trading, especially on leverage. So I imagine it won't end very well for almost everyone. I think we'll probably end up with some sort of UBI in most countries, because I can't really see how you can fix wealth inequality otherwise. And like maybe there will be some sort of wealth tax, but like it's not going to be. See, people aren't going to be happy about a wealth tax either. So there's going to be some like heavy government regulation coming at some point about all these assets that will be going up forever, right? So like the Lorenz curve, which is like a measure of inequality, it's so steep now. It's like there's the only way to fix it is to redistribute wealth, really. So yeah, people aren't going to be happy. Like it's not going to end well.
I remember you tweeted something like, hyper Bitcoinization is going to come sooner than I thought, but I don't think the world will be better when it does. What do you mean?
Well, because most people don't own Bitcoin, right? So it's gonna centralize wealth even more, right? Especially if you have all these funds like getting into it. It's like Bitcoin started out as like, oh, we're gonna stick it to the bankers or whoever, but then if the bankers just buy in, like it's over. Right?
We cheered for them. We cheered for them. They were like, yes, they're gonna make it go up. Fuck yeah, the bankers come back.
Right, because I remember people like years ago they were like, oh well, Bitcoin's being co-opted by people who just want to make money. Like that's sort of true, I guess. Like it's not idealistic as much anymore. It's just like we need to make the number go up as much as possible, and then like maybe that will cause hyperinflation, but like that's not going to make the world a better place for people. Like people talk about like Bitcoin citadels and stuff, like it's not going to.
Have y'all ever seen the metrics, like the CEO pay versus the average employee pay for their companies over time? And it used to be, say in the early 1900s or something, maybe it was like 10 or 11 to 1, like what the CEO made versus what the person at the company made. And then it went to like 80 to 1. And now I just looked up a stat. The average CEO compensation was over 20 million in 2019. So even if someone's making $100,000 a year, it's like 200 to 1. And most of those people probably are not, they're probably making half that, you know, so it might be like 400 to 1. Like, that discrepancy is just, how can the populism not occur, right? And how does that play into like everybody else? It's crazy. It blows my mind. Have you ever seen those stats?
Yeah, it's crazy.
So why you don't think we'll hit any kind of hyperinflation, but you think, do you think inflation itself will be a bigger part of the economy? And do you look at that type of macro stuff, or do you just like savant crypto charts only?
Well, the way inflation is measured is like, it's not, they don't use like a good basket of goods for it. So like they've been off for years, right? They don't really understand what normal people like have to live with, like how, like what they buy.
Yeah, like
like it's not measured well at all. And like house prices have gone up to the point where it's just unaffordable for young people. Like it's impossible. So I don't know about hyperinflation. I think if cryptocurrencies at any point they do threaten fiat currencies, like seriously, though, the government will probably step in and try something. So it really just depends. Michael Burry tweeted earlier something I agree with. Like it depends how ingrained it can get into like people's portfolios and systems before the government bans it, basically, because then you can have like actual then you can actually sort of like fight back against them and like use Bitcoin as your own ecosystem. But what else?
Have you ever?
So you don't think the Bank of England is going to be coming to you like, save us in like 5 years? Path, we saw you on that stream, mate. We think you've got some Bitcoin. We really need some help.
If they do buy in, it's kind of like they'll just cause like a runaway effect, right? That's quite scary. So I think for that reason alone, they won't do it. But like if they do crack down hard on Bitcoin, they'll probably also crack down on other forms of wealth as well, like stocks and that have gone up forever, right? They'll probably come after that. So maybe they'll do all at once. Yeah, we'll see. I think it would just be chaos, really. Like I don't think you can predict too well what will happen, but like because legacy finance is in crypto so much, like the government, like they absolutely can just shut the whole thing down if they want, right? Like if they tell people like, yeah, it's banned, then they'll dump everything.
We have multiple questions in chat. One, the chat wants to see Kobe's hair, which we learned in the last stream has been regrown. Number two is they want to know, what did we study in uni? Yeah.
Do you think Path went to uni? We just learned that he's 10 years old and he was a millionaire at 6.
He skipped high school.
I went to uni for like 2 months to do accounting. I was commuting up to London. It was awful. So I gave up on that. And then
to do accounting?
Yeah, well, I applied for economics.
There's an alternative universe.
They didn't let me in. They didn't let me into economics. So
there's an alternative universe where I'm calling my accountant and it's you, tortured super genius, and you're reading through my accounts and you're like, "Fuck, this Bitcoin thing was a good idea."
As an aside, we are still just market dumping. So if either of y'all have some fresh powder you want to deploy, go for it. Save it.
It actually dumps every single time we stream. So either there is something that happens this point in the week, like some trader, like a big place has his day off and like market dumps, or people involved with the stream are propping up the market.
I don't know. I'm going with the people involved in the stream are important enough to prop up the market and are taking a break at this moment.
Yeah, we need to. Where's Angelo? Angelo is supposed to be doing his shift.
Yeah, come on, Angelo. You're on the you're on the plunge protection team right now.
Angelo messaged me the other day. Not the other, maybe a couple of weeks ago now. And he just started selling me stem cell treatments for reversing aging. So he was like, "Bro."
So he's had a good year, is what you're saying.
Yeah, like you saw the photo of him, right? The thing he posted a picture of himself, doxed himself for the first time.
Oh yeah.
What you don't realize is he's actually 55. He looks fucking amazing. But he messaged me and he was like, "Yo, I'm in Colombia. I found this place. I'm getting like stem cells for anti-aging. I've been doing it for ages. Deadly serious. He's spending like a lot of money on anti-aging stem cells.
I've heard.
I just think like maybe I need to start doing this. Like I'm living a normal life, and I could live Angelo's life.
Wow.
Yeah, you're gonna die at like the pathetic age of like 70 or something, and Angelo's gonna be here 300 years old. Him and Bezos, right? Like, have you seen the Bezos before and after? I mean, he's lost 20 years.
Yeah.
Path, what do you think about the Bitcoin to gold ratio? Is it something you pay attention to?
No.
Just not at all. Do you think Bitcoin's taking some of the bid out of gold?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think it is. Like a lot of people who are like, oh, I want to protect myself against inflation. A lot of them have definitely gone for Bitcoin instead of gold. I think since March last year, it's like, especially where like all these EV stocks are going up so much, people are like, okay, well, we can take bigger risks and probably it will work out. So yeah. And like gold is it stalled so hard when it broke the high. Yeah,
it broke the high. It's just like, I mean, it's chilling right at the 2011 high right now, but I'm on a monthly chart. It's like 7 months of, no new highs after that impulse up. And
yeah,
how triggered do you think gold bugs are right now?
Oh, they're hating life. It's awful. I do own some gold, but nowhere near as much as I do Bitcoin. So.
Don't you think the gold bugs are just a little bit like Bitcoin maxes? It's like this sort of, it's just this sort of like rejection of having to learn anything. Like you go, you know what? I figured out my thesis and I'm going to stick to it religiously, not because, it's the best possible thesis, but just because I can't be bothered to read about other people's. I just can't, it's so difficult to learn about stuff. And I thought I had my lottery ticket. And if anyone sort of offends my lottery ticket, I'm just going to insult them. Like this sort of like the lack of growth just becomes death. And you end up as like some personal cult around your investment. It seems sad, man. Like I imagine at some point I'll reach this like, I'm just so tired and I'm not gonna learn about anything anymore. I'm gonna only stick to like shilling, whatever it happens to be when my brain dies. But God, I fucking hope it's a long time. I hope it's 60 years from now.
Aren't you gonna be exactly the same thing, but with Ethereum?
I don't know, because I see the benefits of Bitcoin. I see the benefits of ETH. I like talking about ETH because the Bitcoin maxis get really, really pissed off about ETH. They don't get pissed off about everything else because everything else is not like it's not even like a genuine threat. Whereas ETH, they see this like tiny genuine threat and they go, "Fuck you! Like you can't fucking say ETH is good. I fucking hate you. Bitcoin is better. Bitcoin came first. There's only 21 million of them. How many ETHs is there? You don't even know." And I'm like. So that's why I like talking about ETH, but I like looking at the alternatives to ETH as well. And like the easiest way to make money in crypto is to be on the forefront of what's happening. Like try and figure out what the next big thing is before it happens, and just make a small bet on it. So like Solana is interesting because it's trying to be ETH, where you don't have to pay $10 million to move your Ethereum around, and a bunch of things are interesting because of that narrative. Equally, ETH was interesting when Bitcoin was the only real like legitimate coin because it was doing something new. It was doing smart contracts on chain. So like being open-minded and trying to learn about everything with a sense of sort of optimism and hope rather than like this everything is a scam, people are trying to steal my money pessimism, which they are, and everything is a scam, but you have to approach it with a sort of what if they're not attitude, and then once you've evaluated or learned, then figure out how they're trying to fuck you and steal your money. And it just seems like maxis don't bother with that anymore. They either they have PTSD from like, it's like true, every coin before that was absolute shit, went to zero. Like maybe they've decided that is the way the world works forever, but I think they've just stopped being open to learning.
Speaking of Ethereum, the people want Path's foresight on where Ethereum's going this year as well.
So I think this quarter we'll probably see 3,000, maybe up to 5,000.
My man, I'm gonna win a steak dinner.
And then, yeah, I don't know. Long term, I'll deleverage at that point, and then I'll just ride it.
Why do you think that's going to happen this quarter? You mean like end of March?
Yeah, possibly. I think it really should outperform Bitcoin, and it's been lagging. Like it can spike up easy, I think, because we're at all-time highs. We're in price discovery. There's all these things happening on Ethereum. It has way more transaction volume than Bitcoin. Like people are actually using it. All these people talk about NFTs and so on. Yeah, and also like I don't think. Actually, no, never mind. Yeah, that's my thought.
Is part of what you believe in regard to this quarter? Because this is my thought as well. Do you believe in the seasonality, or just like it needs to happen sooner, it won't happen, or what?
Sort of. Yeah, like I think like we're on a parabolic curve, and it'll probably peak relatively soon. Yeah, also like the same way companies are buying into Bitcoin, we could see like banks buying into Ethereum. They're like, oh, we're gonna lose money, we're gonna lose market share to DeFi and stuff. Then they want to buy as much Ethereum as possible to start profiting off of that. Otherwise, they'll go out of business. So yeah, we could see that happen. But Ethereum competitors, some of them have been doing really well lately, like Dot and Cardano. So we'll see how that interacts with it as well.
Is Cardano even a real blockchain?
I have no idea.
Does it do anything?
I've been told they're doing stuff
does it have
this
smart
quarter.
Contracts? Cool.
I've thought it was vaporware, but
that's nice of them.
Yeah.
This quarter we'll do stuff.
Yeah, I mean it's been around since 2017. I don't know if there was a actual live product until last year. Like I think when it bottomed, like they finally went on mainnet in like 2020. So apparently you can do absolutely nothing for 3 years and still trade. Charles Hoskinson made a lot of money though.
He serially blocks me, but then unblocks me. I like how he takes the time to unblock me, because like once you've blocked, I don't even know how to unblock someone. Like there's a section where you can go do that. I've never been to that section because I've never thought, I should unblock that person. But he blocks me, then unblocks me. I realize I'm unblocked when he pops up in my feed again. So I send him another offensive tweet, and then he blocks me again, but he just keeps doing it. He keeps doing it. He's not learning that nothing changes. I'm just going to keep sending him offensive tweets, and he's going to block me for 2 weeks. I don't really understand why he's doing it.
Amazing.
I think he's hilarious anyway. Like some of his videos are just absolute.
I mean, he's perfectly memeable.
So good. I don't think he intends them to be funny, but they're so good. If everyone could send him a tweet now just saying wet pigeon, I would be incredibly happy. Just tweet Charles saying wet pigeon. Just the 2 words, wet pigeon.
We need at least 1,000 tweets going to Charles Hoskinson saying wet pigeon. So Path, what other layer ones, and Kobe, you too, what other layer ones do you even find interesting, or could take away some of these scaling issues? Like is BSC real, or, Solana, like what's got the best opportunity on that front?
I have no idea. I haven't looked into a new coin in years. I don't think. I just trade the chart. Yeah, I like Zcash.
Well, I think BSC is real, right? Like BNB is going up, so I imagine BSC is actually real, but I don't know if that means it's good. I imagine it's probably quite centralized. I think it's just a clone of Ethereum. Every now and again, I see a maxi tweet that says like BSC is going to kill Ethereum because the fees are lower, and I want to reply, isn't this just a clone of Ethereum? How will it not have the exact same problems when people actually use it? But then I don't know enough about it, so I just pass on doing this. But I mean, I think it's Ethereum's game to lose. I think Solana is interesting because it has the SAM cartel power behind it, and I think he's just going to plow resources into like forcing an ecosystem onto Solana. So I think that makes it interesting, and it feels good to use. But honestly, once you get transactions that happen relatively quickly, and the fees are not completely nuts, everything feels quite good to use. Like I used Bitcoin for like 5 or 6 years, and I just got used to sending a transaction and then like setting an alarm for 3 hours later to remind me that the transaction will have been received so I can continue my task. So anything that like where you don't have to do that feels pretty good. And I think like ETH fees at the moment are completely nuts. Like
they're insane.
Like it's not even a joke anymore. It's like I did something the other day. I can't remember what I did. It was like kind of a complex transaction, and my gas fee was like 4 ETH. And like in my head, I'm like, right, that's $400, but it's not. ETH's like what? ETH's 1,800 now, so it's like I have to spend $8,000 on gas to do this. Like I don't even think this transaction's worth it anymore. I'll wait for a couple of years. So it is a huge problem now, and all of that gas spend is also just getting dumped on market. So the miners are like raking in these enormous gas fees and then just immediately selling it. So I think it's Ethereum's game to lose. I think Polkadot and Solana are interesting, and I think a lot of the like bridges that are coming up are interesting too. But again, I'm a bit more similar to Path these days, unless it's super. I trade the chart unless it's really, really, really early. If it's really early, I'll do a lot of fundamental research, and I consider it more like angel investing. And if it's the chart, I just trade the chart. I need like enough liquidity to enter and exit, and I can only do that on a handful of like markets anyway.
Well, I feel like the ETH fees has been kind of the narrative for why all these other chains are doing stuff, because they're EVM compatible. So people can just like port to BSC or maybe to Solana, but they're speculating like some of this is going to move to these other ones. By the way, BSC, it sounds like it's kind of EOS style. So they have 21 validator nodes. So their transactions per second are faster as in addition to ETH, but it does run on EVM. So like you can port directly to BSC. So I think that's pretty directly related to BNB mooning recently. And I think that's what I missed on Solana too, is like the fundamentals on Solana I just failed to look into, and then it just way outperformed what I expected.
Yeah. Should we add Birch to the chat? Let's invite Birch along. And also, while I remember, chat, do you have any questions for Path or Ledger?
Yeah, I've been trying to get through the questions. We've mostly covered the ones that I find important. They want to know about Litecoin too. They just want you to go through all the 2016 Coinbase coins.
Not interested in Litecoin.
Yeah.
Like I've got my Zcash allocation. I imagine the performance will be similar at worst. So
what other altcoins do you like? Maybe out of do you pay attention to specific DeFi coins, or do you care?
I own Link. That's pretty much it. I like Wi-Fi, but I'm so like up to my eyeballs in margin at the moment. I can't buy anything else. Just completely maxed out.
How do you take your shift on the plunge protection team if you're already up to your eyeballs on margin though?
Just pray. Fuck off.
Prayer is your plunge protection protocol.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
How much of your trading scheme is faith-based?
Fill out a new chart if I have to in an emergency.
If it's really going down, you just start charting. Every little helps, mate.
That's when I dial into the governance cause.
Start reading the white paper.
Yeah. The chat wants to know, is Lindsay Lohan your girlfriend?
Is Lindsay Lohan my girlfriend or Path's girlfriend?
Either one.
Is she yours?
No.
No. In 2014, I only followed Lindsay Lohan on Twitter from the Kobe account. It was like an ongoing joke where I would only follow Lindsay and like tweet her all the time. She never replied. Now she's in crypto, probably a sign of the top. She tweeted about DeFi today, but it was just a paid for tweet. It seems
just Justin Sun's bags.
Yeah, just Tron related projects. At the exact same time as Neo also tweeted only Tron related projects. Very suspicious. I mean, maybe they don't understand the like legal repercussions. Like, you know, in the 2017 run, a lot of celebrities got their little fines or their slaps on the wrist from the SEC for not disclosing that they were paid to promote assets or securities. Maybe they don't realize this, but what a shit reason to get in trouble with the law because Justin Sun told you to do something and you were like, okay, I'll do it for 20 grand.
I mean, we're definitely finding out like who are the most broke celebrities, right? So
wait. Everyone in chat's going crazy about something, but I missed it. Everyone's saying hentai.
You scrolled past something.
Yeah, I scrolled past something on Super Rare. It was not appropriate. I'm hoping Twitch identifies it as artwork only. It was a view from the wrong end.
I missed it. All right. In my own time.
Yeah. You'll have to do some fundamental research on Super Rare later.
All right. And then, so yeah, Lohan's neither of our girlfriends. Path, is Grimes your girlfriend? Can you tell us a little bit about how you feel about Grimes?
I like Grimes. I'm a big fan. Yeah.
How much of your net worth would you invest in Grimes NFTs?
Oh, it's over. Yeah, my career's done.
What? Why Grimes? What is it? Is it that she's like kind of a furry?
What? No, I just always liked her music. I've been listening for years and years. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, why does Elon like Grimes? You know, like something about it.
All right, chat seems to want to know what all your collectibles are behind you. Can you give us a little tour of the stash?
It's all mostly cards. I've got. You guys might know this one if you're early in Bitcoin. It's a Kazakias. It's funded, that one. Yeah, it's mostly like PSA cards. I've got. I can't really dig them out, but I've got a starter deck Kyber back there, first edition. We'd love that. And then, yeah, just Pokemon cards, been collecting, and Yu-Gi-Oh as well. So they've done very, very well.
Are Yu-Gi-Oh cards pumping?
Yeah, they're more liquid than Pokemon. Like Pokemon's the main market, but yeah, some of the Yu-Gi-Oh ones are absolutely. One sold for more than 100,000 at auction. It was the very first set, Legend of Blue Eyes.
That was one that you bought?
No,
I didn't.
Are you sold?
No.
Have you played Gods Unchained?
I haven't played it. I was really interested in when it came out. I was watching the market to see how it performed, but it hasn't really taken off. So I'm not really too interested in it. Like, it's not that popular. There's not that much money in it. But yeah, they tried. It's a good idea. Like, if something like that comes along and it's made by like Blizzard, so like Blizzard did Hearthstone on the blockchain, right? That would be huge. Because like Hearthstone, you can't trade any of the cards. It's all just stuck on Blizzard servers. But like, they suddenly turn that into NFTs. Like, it would absolutely blow up. But yeah, they'd probably have to use their own blockchain. Like NBA Top Shot uses Flow, which was made by Dapper. It's all like in-house stuff. And like, I don't know. Well, yeah, I assume the fees are a lot lower on that because they can mint like tens of thousands of stuff. But yeah.
Do you think we'll get pretty soon to the place where like you can buy NFTs and then there's going to be like some kind of protocol between games where you can, like adopt, parts of your character or whatever cross game, and like there's an actual NFT marketplace on games for that?
Yeah, absolutely. Like you can, if they're on the blockchain, they're public, you can like, they can sort of interface between all sorts of different platforms. Yeah, it's so, there's so many possibilities. It's crazy.
Do the gaming companies like does it seem like they're open to that, or do they all just want it proprietary for their own platforms? Or like, is it possible to be, there ends up some kind of like open platform for that? Cause that to me is what would be really neat.
I'm sure someone can figure out some like cross-chain stuff as well at some point. Yeah. Yeah, early days still.
How much is your physical collection behind you? Would you estimate its worth?
I don't know. Somewhere in six figures, yeah. But.
Yeah.
Also, what's your home address?
Is that a dragon up top? Like, what's that one?
Oh, that's Illidan. He's just a statue put up there. Yeah.
Nice. All right. What other questions do we have?
I've got a question that I have a question that I've been wanting to ask Path for a few years. And you have to answer really quickly. Don't think about it. I just want to know the first 24 words that come to your head. Go.
I'm drawing a blank. I don't know. Sorry.
Shit.
Pencil.
Well, worth a try.
Apple,
worth a try.
sidewalk.
I don't think I would have managed to get it anyway.
Are we getting Birch on?
All right. Yeah. Let's add. Let's add Birch. They can tell us.
I'm gonna have to like rebuild the scene.
You know who we should try and get? We should try and get Jason from Telegram to come on.
Who's that?
Jason from Telegram is he messaged me. I think I don't want to dox him anymore, so I won't give too much info. But he messaged me in end of summer, I think, with some technical analysis that was in a notebook
that
with,
Jason,
like hand-drawn charts.
Yeah, see if we can bring him on. Yeah. Although he's probably going to dox himself immediately as he comes on Zoom because he probably has it like connected to his work. While you find out if we can get Jason,
he can do the thing.
Yeah, he can change it.
He can do the thing like the lawyer did with the cat filter.
Yeah. Path. Chat wants to know when God Candle.
Oh, wow. So shipping delay on that one.
Shipping delay.
COVID. It's COVID. It's common.
And Purist, it really wants you to just take his next trade for him. He says, "What will BTC most likely do in the next 8 hours?" Specifically.
Up on me. There you go. Easy trade.
Cobain, they want to know, what psychedelics have you done?
Pretty much everything. Like shrooms, LSD, DMT, a bunch of the like research chemicals. I did nutmeg once. That's a delirium rather than a psychedelic, and I highly discourage. It was fucking terrible. A bunch of like plant medicines and stuff. I have not done ayahuasca. I don't think I will. But pretty much everything. Like I became an LSD maxi though after a while. It's the only thing that I like, that it gives me energy as well, whereas I think shrooms kind of make me want to go to sleep. Like 10 years ago, when Path was in diapers, I did a lot of psychedelics when I was playing music and going to a lot of festivals, and I'm old now, so I can't do those things. Less. Yeah, although I have a sensory deprivation tank in my basement, so every now and again I treat myself. It's like luxury. You just go in there, go to the void, and ask for answers. And I've learned that if you keep your mind still enough, it can answer anything that you need.
You know what I learned as I got older is I get dizzy really, really quickly compared to a child. Like my kids can just spin around like 20 times, and if I spin around twice, I need to fall down. That's no drugs involved. All right, hold on.
But how? Wait, sorry. Why are you spinning around?
Because I have children. They want to spin around. Like they want me to hold them and like spin them around like 10 times in the front yard. You know.
Right. Okay. Path, how many times can you spin around? I'm gonna give it a go.
Are you do it right now? Say how you do.
Hang on.
Spinning competition.
What's supposed to happen?
You're going to be dizzy, Kobe. You're old and on a Milky Bar diet, so you're guaranteed going to be in trouble here.
I am actually kind of dizzy.
I told you. That's what I'm saying.
Quickly recovered.
Now, my headphones are trapped.
Nicolay in the chat is disturbed that you guys are multimillionaires. So the next question we got was, what was your most losing trade ever?
So I realized I had a Monero position in 2018 when the market like shat itself. I lost a bit on that, but like I've never really had like any huge losers for like I've just been like betting against the market or anything. I'm pretty good at cutting losses early. I've had like unrealized gains. I've given back a lot, but
so you just
so like with Zcash, but like they've never been like huge chunks of my portfolio really. Mothership, I still have some Mothership.
Yeah, that one was rough.
Yeah, me too. And Sentient was mine, like Consensus, like that was just like minus 5 million. Wasn't even liquid enough to sell. It's still worth like 100 grand or something, but there's literally no liquidity. But I'm similar to Path, like on altcoins, like sometimes back hold something to zero, but on like leverage trading or like active trading, I cut stuff so early that I try and be like allergic to. I hate being underwater. I like don't have the mental for it anymore. Like 5-7 years ago, I could do it. Now I absolutely hate it. It makes me feel stressed. So I try to be underwater as infrequently as possible. So I cut stuff early, which really limits losses, but often means I take a small loss when I could have probably got out profitably. But like my like now I just try. I go. I'm happy with a small loss. That's fine. I'm happy with a small win. And I try and just Ponzi out the like really big winners, and not overtrade it. I literally can't stand being underwater. It makes me feel sick. So I cut everything so early that I don't really get wiped.
So you have weak hands.
Liquidated apart from once on. Yeah, I think the strong hand meme is like the hodl meme is just for like it's to trick people into being poor. Like,
I think it's
the
okay.
Diamond Hands GameStop thing. It was like it was a chant. It was a chant of the impoverished. Like Diamond Hands, they just held to the bottom. You bought something that went up 100x, and then you memed yourself into saying we've all got diamond hands, so that the hedge funds could short at a higher price instead of using the exit liquidity. Like I think having strategic weak hands is really, really, really important. And knowing when to let something run. It's really easy to have strong hands when you unrealized is like plenty in the green. So I just try and put myself in a position where, you're up 15%, you're up 50%, you're up 100%, and then you don't need to worry about it. Like you just leave it forever. Like set your minimum exit target in case it goes down, and just leave the trade for the rest of your life until you're on the Ellen show or something. But people seem to do that in reverse. People seem to go, I've entered this position and it's down, so I'm going to leave it. Oh, I'm down 90%. I'll just hold it. It's like, nah, dude. If it's less than if it's over 5% down, I'm leaving. Fuck that position. I'm doing it again. I got it wrong. I've already failed this trade. I'll do a different one. I'll do a better one. Fuck it.
Yeah, new retail, they add to losing trades like so much because in their mind it's like, oh, the stock's cheaper, I can buy more of it, and they just keep adding it. They don't actually understand that it's worthless or anything. There was a graph on one of the Robinhood stocks people were buying like a couple of years ago, and like it just kept going down and down and down, but then the retail positions just kept increasing. It's like they're buying this thing is absolutely worthless, but they've memed themselves into buying this stock. Yeah, it's painful.
Yeah, I've had to learn to have stronger hands on a winner, because I would typically get excited. Something goes up like 2x and I'd take my profit, but then it's not worth holding the ones that go down 20% or whatever before you cut them. When you get that big runner, you cut it too soon, at least in a bull market. Bear market is different. Path, was this where you longed XMR? Because I lost a lot of money on this weekly candle right here.
No, so it would have been at like the very top, early 2018.
Oh, early 2018.
It was somewhere up there. I was building position. Yeah.
When it was basing here, I got long, and then I forgot about it, or like was traveling or something when it gave it up, and it just melted. Do we think this is a long on XMR, by the way? Like, is that bottoming versus Bitcoin?
Yeah, I think pretty much everything is bouncing against Bitcoin at the moment, right? Like even like IOTA and stuff is going up. Like IOTA doesn't even work, right? So yeah, I could retest that low.
Yeah, I just think this is going to go slam into this floor here.
Yeah.
So there's your free
target.
60. Look, we'll bump it down. There's your free 69% alpha trade from the stream today. You've gotten your money's worth, and we can continue not talking about targets. Let's see.
So I just saw a good. By the way, Jason is going to join, but he's not going to join with video. He's going to join audio only.
Oh, that's
Honestly,
great.
If we get blessed by two gods in one call, I'll take it. So I saw a comment in the chat, which was Path Kobe. What indicators do you use? I thought it was pretty interesting because I think we're both pretty similar in this regard. But I'll let you answer first.
Okay, so literally the only indicator I use is 4-hour RSI on Bitcoin. That's it. Just buy when it's oversold, and then you make money. Like the hit rate's incredible. That's it. I don't use anything else. Just use like price actions for resistance. It's just easy.
So just 4-hour RSI.
Yeah, default settings for it.
I'm gonna brighten it up for the chat so they can see.
My answer is like literally none. I don't even use that. I don't use any at all. Partially because I'm not very smart. So I have to recognize that I'm in the middle of the bell curve. And if I start trying to use these like indicators, if I start trying to be a scientist on this chart when I'm competing with quantitative like Path, I've already lost. So I don't use any at all. I think they confuse you. I think they're there to make you overthink it. Instead, only use horizontals and volume. The only things I care about. Like I do spend a lot of time looking at open interest, who's like what positions everyone is in, and where significant buys, sells happened, where the support and resistance is, and where people are are there big holders who are underwater? If so, where did they enter? Where will they capitulate? Stuff like that. But I think generally indicators are scams.
Path, this 4-hour, every time it hit 30, it was like dead ass bottom for this whole
crazy, right? Yeah.
I'm on Ethereum, but same thing.
Yeah. I think Bitcoin's even more scary accurate.
Yeah, especially if it like pierces through, it's just like either there or the next touch. This was actually I don't know if y'all know Hero, like HXRO. I beta tested it and made it like a ton of fake Hero that then I sold for $6,000, and it would now be worth like $150,000. So that was unfortunate. But I did the same thing on the 5-minute chart. It's like these RSI double bottoms on the 5-minute, and I was like, then I just go long based off the RSI. But the 4-hour on Bitcoin looks very similar to what that did. Especially if you get some kind of divergence on that 4-hour, is like ridiculous. So there you go. Y'all can all retire in 2 months as Bitcoin goes to 100K.
And also like all those times it's touched over sold, like you could have held all of those positions like as long as you wanted to all the way up to this price. If you had like stop at break even, for example, like it's never even revisited that price. Right.
Yeah. Not that you guys want to know, because you said indicators are scams. But the chat asked me what moving averages I have on here. I don't necessarily use these as like my guarantee, but I use the 20 and the 200 period moving average all the time. And the 200 week moving average is the absolutely only Bitcoin bear market bottom call ever. If you look at like historical, going back to 20, it's before 2015 even. Yeah. Back to when it existed. So the 2015 bear market, and then the 2018 bottom, and even the March liquidity crisis in 2020, like the 200 week is the bear market bottom. If you ever hit the 200 week, just go all in. That's not financial advice.
You know, I saw a tweet the other day that said the 20 MA or 50 MA, I can't remember, is insane. It's really sticking to the price. And I was like, bro, what do you think it is?
What it is.
It's literally a moving average. Like, of course it's sticking to the price. It's not going to diverge. If it diverges, then like we've got a problem. Like, they were like, a great indicator really sticks to the price. What the fuck? There's nothing. It's noise.
It's the distance from it. I don't trade it like based on, oh, we're too far away because we're going to draw back, because like currently, you know, you'd just be out. But if you're looking to buy, like 2017, throughout the bull market, we bounced off the 20 week, and then it basically told you to get out on the retest at 11.5. Like after we finished, that could have been your last exit. And then we rejected off of it throughout the bear market. So I like the 20 and the 200 on the higher time frames. But you know, that's my style. Kobe and Path have made a lot more money than me. It also, though, when we flipped it on the ETH, it was Giga Moon after that, 200 week. And just for reference, if you look at Zcash right now, that's why I said, I don't know if we'll get the retest, but I would long Zeke on the retest of it if we get it here. It's at 138. We just cleared it. So if we retest that on the top, from the top side, you know, go for it. 750.
We've got people in the waiting room, by the way.
Sorry. 2 people. Pull them in. I'm sitting here talking about freaking TA and stuff that you guys hate. And, you know, we had people waiting to come in. Joel, Jason, welcome.
Hello.
Hey.
Is that him? That's the Jason. Jason's
doing?
here. Hold on. I've got a tweet about Jason.
Yeah, link the tweet.
Now we've got 2 people on the same call, and they can both see the future. That must be, as a superpower, that must be quite a rare one.
Path, was this your pick?
The one I linked. Yeah, I go for that. I had people linking me my own NFTs. That's interesting. I don't really own that. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna readjust it.
Right.
Joel, what's up?
What's up, guys? What up, Brian? What's up, Path?
Hey,
Jordan.
Do you want to do quick intros, Jason and Joel?
Yeah, and I'm gonna have
There's
to
a lot
move
of
you
J
guys
names, isn't there?
around.
We've got Jordan, Jason, Joel.
Yes, sir. Sure, I can go. My name's Joel. I go by Bitcoin Birch on Twitter. I occasionally tweet my thoughts about crypto, but generally speaking, I spend all of my time operating Stacked, which is an automated investment platform. And I've been in the industry for about 5 years. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all you need to know.
All right, so you got 35 seconds to tell all the wonderful viewers why they should use Stacked. You got to do it real quick, no thinking, 30 seconds. Then you're not allowed to shill anymore.
Yeah, perfect. No, that's fantastic. The easiest way I can describe why you should use Stacked is because I have Jordan, Kobe in my ear telling me all the bad ideas and all the good ideas, and that's ultimately going to make the product super, super successful. So you should use Stacked because my guy Jordan is giving me a bunch of advice. It also helps automate your favorite trading strategies that your favorite Gainsies and Moon BTCs of the world make available. So one click, copy strategy, easy investment platform. My guy Jordan's got my back.
What's up, dude?
So you only have to click once and then you're rich. Great.
You click once, and then sometimes after a small period of drawdown, sometimes no drawdown at all, you're rich.
Jason,
All right, Jason,
what's
do you want me to do the comical intro, given that people know you as Jason from Telegram, or do you want to do a real intro of your own?
No idea. I'll just go with what you want to do because it's your guys' podcast.
I'm going to introduce you, and then you can introduce yourself because I just want to make sure people have the background. So, Jason messaged me on Telegram in like end of summer, I think, with photographs he'd taken of a notebook of hand-drawn technical analysis with like notes. So I guess you have like a trading journal, which is like a physical thing. And I can't remember exactly what you said, but you said something that at the time seemed absurd. I think the price was like $9,000 or $8,000, and you were like, I think it's going to 40K by January. And you had this like hand-drawn chart, and like everything, like down to the T, just came true. And ever since, you've been sort of cropping up on Telegram, just throwing a random prediction in, and all of them have come perfectly true so far. So we don't know if you're using cryptopathic technology, or we want to know how you're doing it. But we'd also like to know who you are. How have you gained this like foresight ability?
Sure. Well, I mean, I just, I mean, that was just basically a product of lockdown, I guess, and staying inside and always looking at computers and charts and writing down all the trades that I take in a journal, and just spending a lot of time looking at different charts. So, I've kind of just been in crypto since early 2011. But like the way in which I'm involved in crypto, like, is usually different year to year. It didn't really get like super focused on crypto until like 2017, 2016.
So how, like, why do you use a physical journal? Like, I understand the benefit of trading journaling, but like it might be helpful in case people don't know to tell them what benefits you get from that as well. But I'd love to know why you use physical. It just seems like it's annoying.
Well, mainly the physical aspect of it, like having an actual paper journal, is usually around common price action patterns. And it's usually pretty good to reference them, because if you don't jot them down, you kind of forget them. And so if you just have a little journal to go back and just kind of scan through all the different patterns that you've noticed, then it makes it easier.
Got it.
Jason, people want to know if you have a Twitter, which I don't think you do, a public one, but do you?
As soon as Kobe said I'm famous on Twitter or something, I think it was like last month or whatever, I like created one, but then I was like, I don't want to do this. Okay. So I have one, but I just haven't linked it. So I don't know.
That's fine. That's good. The mystery makes you powerful. So
I don't know.
If people want to know, Kobe is Jason's gatekeeper, and there's nothing y'all can do about it. It's his alpha only.
But I always share it several months afterwards, which is
when you're selling.
I share it once it's come true, because like otherwise, like people like, you know, Jason is another now religious figure. Like people just like, Jason always gets it right. If I share it and it doesn't come true, then it like everyone gets wrecked. But if it
is Jason that guy from the Reddit,
what will Jason do?
No, Jason's from Telegram.
The guy from Reddit?
No, you know the old Reddit posts, the memes that would go around forever from that guy that went into the future. That was like this Reddit meme. I'm wondering
like, the
if
world
Jason
is ending.
Yeah,
I didn't check in on that. I need to check in on that. Like he probably, guessed that the Capitol insurrection was going to happen.
I don't remember what his price targets were for 2021 because he made this post years and years back. But I would love to see that meme again. And I'm wondering if this is Jason's evolution into Telegram.
Hopefully not. Otherwise, a very big existential crisis.
Kobe, have you shared his most recent prediction? What are you holding out on us?
I think you actually asked me not to, but you gave me a pretty wild prediction a couple of weeks ago for Bitcoin, and I tweeted that you'd given one, but the only thing I said was "Mother of God." That was summing up the prediction. You can tell people now if you feel comfortable and confident, but please be aware, people are using 100x leverage, and they will all immediately get murdered when they ape into whatever you say to do.
I'd actually kind of like to save it. We have the screenshots or whatever, but like I think the market's getting to an interesting state where like putting a number might change things. So I would say just sit tight, and what'll happen will happen, and we'll figure it out. I don't know, it's a crazy ride. So I don't know. Things like this kind of like affect psychology. I don't know.
So close your eyes and let it happen is what you're saying.
Yo, this says $1 million in 2021, but it said 100,000 in 2019, so we got behind.
Okay. Dang.
But
I was hoping that would still be on.
Yeah, everybody was all into it because it's 10,000 in 2017. So he missed 2019, but we could play catch up. It could just be, like he was trying to translate it after he'd visited the future and got, a couple years mixed up.
Sure. Yeah. He got the conversion wrong, probably on the USD, because he probably didn't take into account how much the USD is losing value. He probably didn't do the math to figure out. That's probably what it is.
No, that takes the thing that I told Kobe kind of takes into account the printing we've seen over the last year. But yeah.
Well, here's to hoping.
Maybe he meant Australian dollar, because they're not worth anything, are they? They're like, $1 Australian is like 25 terrible. Cents or something.
So Jason, what do you think for Bitcoin this year?
I'm sorry. Like, what do I think? Like,
where do you think we're headed?
It's a pretty interesting macro backdrop for sure. A lot of different use cases that we haven't found before are being found, like substitute out yield for bonds and all that narrative. I think a few people in the analyst space have like similar predictions to me, but they've kind of like come over the last like 2-3 months. So I'm like really enjoying the confluence. So I think there's a reasonable chance we could have a big Q2, a summer lull, and then a big Q4, Q3.
Oh,
but
that is my dream. That's like my scenario. That's the scenario where it goes highest, right? Like that's the one where like there really is a Bitcoin citadel, and the Hunger Games starts happening, but we live in the central city, so it's okay. That is my dream. Well, maybe without all the Hunger Games and the killing, but if the Hunger Games did happen, I would probably go watch it. Like, I wouldn't not go if it's on and it's happening anyway and I can't stop it, and like it's inhumane but everyone's accepted it and I don't get cancelled for that, then I'd probably go as a viewer to see it because it would be entertaining, like Gladiators used to be, I guess.
I've always had this theory that there's people out there that would sign up for that if it was allowed. Like, there has to be people out there that would sign up today if that was allowed.
So for people asking, who is Jason? Where is Jason Twitter? When Jason? Jason doesn't have Twitter. Kobe is his connection to you.
Gatekeeper.
And the one of the ones that made Jason famous is that he talked about Bitcoin going to 40K by Q1, Q2 next year, 40 to 50K. And he said that in November. So that was one of them. There was another one too that I'll try to pull up from Kobe's tweets.
I think it's in a thread. I think I threaded everything together. So I might be able to just go
not married to this, but I think a local low is in, and that was on January 11th, which I believe was also the local low. Yeah, here's the thread. Thoughts by 19K by November 25th to 27th, which if you were on options, you probably would have like 500x or something crazy. If you went in on that in October, because I think we were at 9,800 or something. Fingers crossed on the notebook. Yeah. So Jason just nailed it. Sorry to bother.
Fingers crossed on the notebook. Just sounds like it's about the movie.
Yeah, so that's Jason.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Jason, you could start a paid group and maybe raise like $500,000 right now.
It's okay. No, thank you.
How many people would join Path's pay group? It would take a big step out of my trading because I wouldn't have to like do the intermediary trade. You could just do it on my behalf, but my trades would remain the same.
When Path bought That's what I want to know. Exclusively for Kobe's use, because we'd have to cap the liquidity anyways.
You just buy the 4-hour RSI oversold, and then you hold it. You never sell.
4-hour RSI
Long
hits
only.
30. Somebody's going to make
only.
this and make a lot of money off of you.
That doesn't sound like a difficult bot to make.
It
I
would be
might
a very.
make this.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to.
I've been waiting for Kobe bot for a while.
Joel,
I would love.
are the bots automated strategies only, or could it be discretionary? Like, can I go in there and pick my favorite shitcoins manually, and then it just does it, or do I have to have some kind of automation in there?
Well, the algos run on a specific pair, depending on what the author builds. Usually Bitcoin or Ether. There's some link bots. There's an ADA bot that's just been longing ADA since January 1st, which is up like 700% spot.
They're winning.
They're winning for sure. But yeah, most of them are Bitcoin or ETH. You can put it on notifications only though, and then manually enter, and then Stacked will close it for you automatically if you wanted to have more control over the entries. Yeah, there's some things you can do there, but it's mostly focused on just pure automation. And that's why Kobe bot is necessary. Yeah.
If I created a bot, right, and the logic in the bot is simply if price, then execute trade at random. So it's just like if the price, when it hits an even number, make any trade, just like long, short, like don't matter. It's just entirely decided at random, and I call it random bot. Will you list it?
Yes, because all strategies go through a vetting process, as you know, and they live in this purgatory they live in the gulag for a period of time until they win their way out. And so there's a graveyard of strategies that never went live on Stacked because they were terrible. I will say the average strategy has like a 47% win rate. And so if you're flipping a coin on even numbers, you're probably going to get a decent win rate. The question is for algos, the successful ones just manage risk better. They have the same win rate. They just take less losses and capitalize more on wins. So it's all about your exit strategy, not your entry.
Go to ledgerstatus.com/stacked and I'll bill Joel for this later.
Let's go. I'm good for it. Let's do it.
So what like crazy stories have you seen out of Stacked? Like, have you seen anybody just like makes some insane multiple and retirement money type of stuff?
Yeah, but there's only so much data that we actually look into. We're pretty responsible with that stuff. But I will say that there was someone who was YOLOing 7-figure trades on GainseyBot, which trades frequently, like multiple times a day. And he made $3 million in March when the market was dumping to all hell. There was a period of drawdown for GainseyBot after that, as
Kobe made that very clear.
But yes, but I have to give props where props are due. That bot's been killing it lately. It's bots go through cycles, right? And again, it's really about risk management. The problem that people have is oftentimes they'll get too impatient. If you can live through the drawdown, if the strategy is good and it has decent risk parameters in a bull market like this, especially, or in any volatile market, I should say, bull or bear, you're probably going to make money.
Yeah,
it's not like a super complicated thing,
What I've always noticed is like if people are copy trading someone or they're doing a bot, like they FOMO in when it's most profitable, when it's due for a drawdown, and then they capitulate after they've lost 30% or something, and that's when it's ready to turn around based on historical performance.
Yeah, patience is key, right? And then I think risk management is key too, right? Like for me personally, I would never dedicate more than 5-10% tops to any automated trading strategy. But I think it's a really exciting way to get exposure to the market day to day. Like I love logging in and seeing if I'm up or down, and I'm never going to get completely wrecked. So it's all up to the person. I think Kobe said he was going to put somewhere in the range of 10 to 20 million on GainseyBot. So we'll see.
Doesn't that ruin the alpha? Like,
well, we shut it down for everyone else. We'll just make it exclusive for him.
Nice. Yeah, because if you have too much size on something, like if you have too much size on something, you can't really perform with it.
That's why a lot of algos don't run on altcoin pairs, right? There's just not enough liquidity. If you're, we have $100 million connected and 25 million is trying to long ADA on leverage.
Yeah, you're
with 5x average leverage, you're doing a $200 million long on a 4-hour candle. You get into trouble real quick. So yeah.
What I kind of wish is like, I'm a very skeptical person, so I don't trust things easily. I don't like not having control of stuff. Unless it's Path just telling me to buy something and do it immediately and break my personal rule set, I guess. But I don't like not having the control of things. So when I started using some of the stacked bots, I would obsessively check what they were doing and like sort of like critique them. But like, I think you're wrong, bot.
Yeah.
A kind of experience I think I would prefer is having access to 3 or 4 bots, but instead of them executing trades for me, they're sort of like a supplement to my own sort of thesis. So I read the chart, I decide what I'm doing every day, but I could get pinged, on Telegram or something when it says, the JSON strategy is now going long and the path strategy is also going long. And I actually was considering going long. So I'm just going to dial up the fucking leverage to max and go all in.
Yeah.
Or I'm thinking of going long, but the path bot says it's going short. So maybe I should take a look at the market and consider, what am I missing? Like that, I think that's the experience, like an augmentation of information sort of in real time, I think would be most useful for me.
Yeah, no, and you're I think leading into something really nicely, because you and I have obviously talked about this in some capacity a few times, and I want to get into a more curated experience. So I think the real thing that's clear to me is that the way Kobe trades is probably different, very different to the way I trade, and very different to the way Ledger trades. I don't trade at all, right? And so we have different needs for different types of products. So having a more curated experience is going to be cool, and that's one of the reasons we bought Alertron, was to be able to do some more advanced order types. And yeah, I think you and I can work on something like that. It'd be really cool to have a sentiment indicator or something that can feed information to you, but let you take your own decisions manually. And I think that's something that we're trying to focus on, is taking the complexity out of using exchanges. This is just us personally. There's other people solving similar problems. Taking the complexity out of using some exchanges, giving you as much information as possible in a concise way, in a beautiful UX that allows you to be more profitable as an investor in the space. So your ideas are always well noted, my friend.
You know what I want in a bot is to take the money based on the back testing and all the performance metrics, but then I never want to see my P&L. I never want to see any details. I never want to get upset about it. And I just want to come back in like 2 years after it's had enough time to, prove itself without me having to care. Because I'll look at the results too, and I'll be like, well, I'm a better trader than this stupid bot. Like every time it goes down. But if you trust them, like the good ones can usually, do okay. And if it's a small enough allocation, like you were talking about, Joel, like, okay, well, you lost 5% if it went to 0 with your money,
Right. So, you can do that obviously by connecting, setting, and forgetting. We've just seen that users in crypto, man, we're obsessive. Kobe's not unique in wanting to be there every single second of every day. When it comes to crypto, we have funds on the platform that manage millions of dollars in maybe even traditional equities or something else, where they might not check as frequently, but they're in crypto all day. Like, we're all just a bunch of fiends, I think, for the price action. And so it's just hard to set it and forget it, right? I want to know, but you can do it.
Somebody said, can they make a bot that shorts whenever an Uber driver opens a chart? I have a better one. Can we make a bot that automatically longs anytime Nouriel Roubini talks crap about Bitcoin? I feel like
there's some really unique ideas here.
Yeah,
please.
We've talked about doing a counter trade toggle, so that way any algo anywhere on the platform or any strategy, if you just have a vendetta against that author, against that quant, against that strategy, if you just think you're better than the bot, you can just toggle and it'll just take the opposite trade for everything, and then see what side wins. But we haven't put that feature live yet. We're still thinking through some of it.
Somebody wants to long every time Majin tweets, or however you pronounce his name.
I love him.
You should short every time Path. Short every time Path starts gloating to Majin. Every time Path starts taunting him, it's literally the top. It's happened several times.
So when I stop tweeting, like when I lose interest, that's a very signal someone's pointed out to me that has quite a high hit rate. So
is that because you're playing World of Warcraft and you've just your long's just open, it's at the top?
Yeah.
Let's we need to take a quick break because we need to give away our $2,000. Big Ben 913, you have won because Path chose Path, you haven't even bought it.
Oh, was I supposed to?
Well, no, but you don't have to. But give somebody else this investing opportunity because Path picked the Doom Began CryptoPunk.
So by the looks of it, these are CryptoPunks, but they run them through an AI like recognition system, and they've spat something out. So it's like AI art combined with punks. I think that's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah,
I don't know how good the price is though. So
yeah,
I didn't really have a chance to like gauge how good of a buy every single one of them were because it's hundreds.
It was purchased 4 months ago for 0.666 ETH, and it's had a price drop from 6.66 ETH to 3 ETH today. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And
sweet.
Big Ben 913, I'm going to need your Blockfolio Ethereum address, and everyone else, you need to be prepared. You need to download Blockfolio using ledgerstatus.com/Blockfolio. You can trade on Blockfolio. And hey, y'all know what I learned about Blockfolio is actually you can trade from one asset to another without going in between. Huge pain in the butt, like if you're just flipping shitcoins, you know? So if you want to go from Doge, because the Doge top is in, and you want to go straight back to what are we going to buy, right? What did I do the other day? I can't remember what it was. Back to Ethereum or something. Or TRX. You want to buy Tron because Lindsay Lohan is doing it. You can just go straight to it. Or sushi. You can go from Doge to sushi with no middle transaction with Blockfolio. Thanks, Blockfolio, for helping us pay these big streaming bills that we have.
Jason, do you think Dogecoin is going to $1?
This weight is killing me.
The suspense.
Well, let's pop open a chart. So let's see. I would say, I don't know. I don't think so. But sorry to break any hearts. But yeah, I don't think so.
The weekly
will it ever go above 8 cents again?
Historically speaking, probably not. But
the chat's devastated.
Yeah, they're really upset. Oh, this Doge is another one with my 200-week moving average maximalism because look, it was just like it just hovered on it, and once it got above, boom. Just saying, Kobe. I think it's going to 19 cents.
Yeah. I have noticed there is some correlation between the moving average and the price. We should investigate it further to see if they're related somehow.
Yeah. Is this the high? Has Doge never been this high before? It had a weekly close.
No, it hit 8 cents before.
It was higher in Satoshis. It was higher in the Wallon pump in 2014.
Yeah, 2014. It closed a weekly at 249. So I think it's got to make an all-time high on Satoshis, which will like it's got to pass Bcash, right? Is it past Bcash yet?
No, for it to get to $1, it would be half the size of Ethereum and the number 3.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying $1, but
it's in like no, it has not passed Bcash. It's 800 million behind Bcash in market cap, and it's
it's got to pass Bcash. Like
90 million behind Ethereum.
They're one spot apart from one another at this moment.
They're close.
That's a small.
I'll root for it to pass Bcash for sure.
That's another like 10%.
You want that? Yeah, not even.
It could pass. It could pass Stellar on the way too. You know, like just get up to like number 8 or 9. You could do it. One more. It's going to give everybody all the whales their exit liquidity. I saw that the top holder of Doge actually was adding like all January, and that top wallet worth some crazy amount, like $4 billion or something.
Yeah, so it's up to $4 billion. And the other day, it's posted a series of transactions spelling out Elon Musk's birth date.
I didn't see that.
What if he really is the CEO of Doge? I mean, what if that's his wallet?
He holds $3 billion worth of Dogecoin and is like posting Elon Musk memes on chain. unfortunately, I think this is what the Netflix like popular movie about crypto is going to be. It's going to be the Dogecoin saga, and I was hoping it would be something good, but
Yeah.
like, never mind.
Damn, 3 billion in Doge. Never been jealous of a Doge holder before.
Who would who would play Path in the movie? Because like you've seen The Big Short, right? And there's like you got Michael Burry played by Batman. We're gonna have Path, and he's gonna have his blessed chart in there. He's gonna be like this child who sees the future and makes millions of dollars.
Daniel Radcliffe, Idris
Elba.
Elba, Loki, Paul Dano, The Rock.
The Rock is 100%.
Maisie Williams.
That is so good.
I like the Maisie Williams one.
It's actually quite accurate, though. You do look a lot like Arya Stark.
John Cena, that's a good one. Somebody's got to talk. My dog's barking.
Okay, yeah, there's a good question here. I don't know if Ledger just muted himself, but I'm a little bit out of the loop. Someone said, "What is your opinion on ZRX? The OX thing." I remember in like 2017, it was super hype when it came out, and then it seemed to sort of fade into irrelevance, and has recently sort of become popular again as a sort of late mover on the DeFi movement. People sort of realizing actually this is in some way comparable to these other things where the market cap is super high. Does anyone know anything about this, and can you teach me?
I know everything
someone just said,
about
"Where is
it,
my chair?"
and I'm going to shill the crap out of my bags.
All right.
So there's this deal, right, where ZRX is completely mispriced relative to other stuff. From a volume perspective, they're doing, I think they hit like 3 or 4 billion in DeFi volume, but they're one of the primary methods of volume in DeFi. But from a market cap perspective, especially fully diluted, they're like way behind a lot of the other projects that are out there. So when I was first buying it, it was 54 cents and it was like 450 or 500 billion in market cap. Whereas 1inch is today 8.4 billion in fully diluted market cap. Now, like right this moment, ZRX is higher somewhere. I can't find it right now. But they're essentially like just as big of a part of the trading side of like DeFi stuff as it's 1.7 billion and 1.3 billion current. As some of these other protocols, like, the Sushis and the Unis and all of that. And some of them even use ZRX underneath. And the chat's calling me blind because I can't see, but I'm trying to look at the stream, see what's there, and then also find these details and also not type anything in my browser that's going to like dox wallets and crap. So give me a break. So yeah, it's basically DeFi plumbing. That's what else do you need to know? You said you don't care about fundamentals until you're down on the position.
Why are they not on any like they get a ton of volume on Binance, and their third highest is VCC exchange, and then BTC, I guess, is. Yeah,
they have volume on Coinbase. Unfortunately, their volume on their own DEX is not that great. I think they're trying to steer away from that, maybe for some regulatory reasons. I'm going to try to find a better chart.
I didn't even know they were DeFi. I mean, I just remember them being everywhere in 2017.
Yeah, so they had a $25 million ICO back then that I was really excited about. But after it went to the highs in 2018, like January 2018, they kept doing stuff, but it just wasn't like it wasn't talked about as much.
Sure.
Yeah, that's exactly my experience. I was super hyped. I was like at some point almost all in. Some of my best trades were on it, and then it just seemed like everyone stopped caring at the same time. Maybe because, bull market ended and everyone lost all their money and stuff. But it never really picked back up with DeFi. And it seems like, there was just a God candle on it the other day where it just went from like the bear market price to like DeFi prices in one candle. It was the candle that Path wants to happen on Zcash.
Yeah. So I was in this trade throughout. I'm still in this trade. I have a stupid amount of money relative to my portfolio in this trade. It hit the first price target, that $2 was the prior all-time high. And Kobe, you mentioned back then, like it was a perfect range trade for back then. It went from, it was like a stable coin at 20 cents and it went from 20 cents to $2. But then even in the beginnings of the bear market, like it was a perfect kind of a cyclical trade if you wanted to make it. And then it just went into the death zone, and basically it's just mispriced. It's going to go into price discovery versus the dollar, and you run the fibs just like we have with all the others. That's what's going to happen. $3 is the 1.618.
Curious what you think about in general some of these 2017 majors. We had DeFi summer that led into a big start to the year. We have some of these really exciting protocols and utilities that are coming to light with Aave and Uniswap, all these different utility protocols. I'm over here looking at the original Chinese Ethereum right now. I'm over here looking at Ant shares. Okay, an old friend of mine, and I don't know if I've seen a chart I'd rather buy in my life than Neo right now at $37. This has got more volume than anything it's ever seen before. It's 10x below all-time high. How are you feeling about some of these like 2017 majors? Neo, OMG, Strat, ZRX, you name it, right? NEM.
Well, I think this is the difference between like ZRX and those. Like those, for the most part, I don't believe in the slightest, because they're not doing new stuff.
They're not doing anything.
Yeah, so I'm going to show you a couple things. I'm not done with my shill.
Oh, God bless.
Yeah, how about that?
Shout out Jared, who has a huge bag. My guy Jared, let's hear it. Just told me.
Yeah, so ZRX is also on the back end of a lot of these other dexes. So like the down the line dexes, after you do Uniswap and SushiSwap, like their protocol is on the back end of a lot of the other ones. And one more, where'd it go? Yeah, it's just different. It's an actual DeFi project, whereas like I don't buy that Neo is really doing DeFi. I think they're just chasing DeFi narratives. Yeah. So
but does it have pumponomics? That's the question.
Here's the volume on 0x, and if you do like price relative to volume on the protocol, it blows other ones out of the water. And yeah, so it's undervalued. Also, already they have some protocol revenue feeding the token for like staking rewards, and there's a possibility that they have more like cash flow incentives coming in the future, whereas Uniswap has no revenue that goes towards token holders. Like SushiSwap, ZRX, 1inch, they all deliver revenue to token holders, whereas Uniswap is valued the most, and people are just assuming that it's going to send revenue to token holders, but there's nothing that's actually proof of that, and governance will have to make that happen. So they're just assuming it will, which is a pretty big assumption. So that's my shill. It's going into price discovery.
Sold. Buying a bag. Thank you.
It's that easy, huh?
Oh yeah.
I'll have to pull up the other chart, the Neo, right? I don't even know where I would find Neo. I got to go find like some ancient watch list that I have.
I just have noticed a lot in my Twitter DMs, and I've just started to notice some old. I had people asking me about Dragon Chains still, like how you still hold that? I don't know. So I'm just wondering, like, are there some good pumponomics to the OGs, or are they just dead?
Here's oh gosh, you can't see because I've got this gigantic stream window. I need to figure out a better way to get people on the stream. Here we go. All right, it's like kind of in the corner. It looks like Zcash to me.
That's not a good thing.
On the BTC pair, don't you think, Path?
Yeah. Well, yeah. As I said earlier, like they're all all of these old shit coins kind of pumped together. They look very similar, which has me a bit worried.
Yeah,
that doesn't normally end well, but yeah.
Just to ask the question, why does that worry you?
Because you these things, they're not moving because of fundamentals. Like they're all kind of moving together, just in a broad like market move. There's not necessarily anything special about these coins. Like as we said, they're all legacy, right? A lot of them don't necessarily do anything new. So yeah, it's not the market saying, oh, this is undervalued. It's the market just buying anything.
Yeah, that makes sense. What are your thoughts on some of these OG coins from the 2017 era, 2018 era, like rebranding with DeFi usage? Do you think that changes that narrative or that thesis at all? Or
maybe, but I think that's kind of just like, oh, we want to be new and shiny again and get more money in. But yeah, it's a bit desperate.
Sure. But like,
yeah, I think it is desperate, but in 2017, those were some of the like. It depends what they're doing. If they're actually doing something that is genuinely good, I think it like finding those is really nuts. In 2017, I missed so many good runs because it was something that was like a joke or something shit rebranding into something else that was trying to be a bit better, and I was like, it's just another scam. They're just trying to like cover up the fact that it's just, you know, like Dogecoin Dark. Like they're just trying to cover up. They just want to change the name because it's Dogecoin Dark. It's stupid. But then it went like 10 billion times. So
of these, I tend to think like Tezos is the most wrecked fundamentally.
Oh yeah,
I was just looking at that.
So I heard from a guy who used to run. I think he's run a baker for Tezos since like day one. By the sounds of it, all the bakers are like, they're going to try and fork Tezos because they're not happy with the foundation. Because the foundation, they have like $1 billion. They're not doing anything with it, and they've wrapped their Bitcoin on Ethereum instead of Tezos. So they're not the founders aren't even using Tezos, right? No one's using it.
I think support. So I've always thought like fundamentals are good to know first before you like get in via technicals, just to know like what's absolute vaporware. So maybe there's only the pump or whatever. But I feel like Tezos really ran into some problems because it's all built on OCaml. So like the coding interface, it's harder to recruit developers. It's like you can't write Solidity and use EVM and, you know, some of those types of things. Whereas the ones where people that know Solidity can do, you know, work on that chain, like has a huge advantage. So I don't care like about the practicals with Tezos because nobody's going to develop on it and they're having a hard time recruiting people. So I feel like if Tezos moons, it's a real sign that things are like done. Whereas some of the other ones, if they're compatible with EVM, I'm a little better with it because they might actually have some kind of Ethereum's too expensive. We're going to use Polkadot or whatever type of vibe, you know?
Yeah. I still have some of my Tezos from the ICO back in like 2017.
Do you have your password?
Yeah. I was one of the few people who actually saved it. Thank God. It amazes me as well. Like so much of the supplies are locked up from people who lost their passwords, but that hasn't helped the price at all. Like I can't imagine how low it would be if everyone had it.
Well, versus USD, it's getting back up to all-time high.
But everything's going to go to price discovery versus USD. I just expected a lag.
Except Satoshi's vision. Satoshi's vision, Bitcoin Satoshi's vision is lower against the dollar than it was last February. So we've gone through this gigantic global macro event. They've printed $2 trillion in a day or something. And BSV went down. It went down. That's how shit it is. It's so bad that despite Pokemon cards going 3000x, despite Decentraland plots, despite Litecoin going up, despite fucking Beyblades reselling on eBay for thousands and thousands of dollars, BSV was the only asset that went down against the dollar. You can't find another one. Look online. You can't find one anywhere. Nothing else went down against the dollar in 2020 except BSV. It's the only thing that went down. That is incredible.
That's unreal. That's brilliant, though. I love that.
Just as a note, My buddy JMP said that as soon as we stopped making Path talk, the market rebounded. So
I'll shut up.
just saying.
James
You
is my
guys
guy.
heard that Verge has a Livermore accumulation cylinder, right? Going on in the BTC pair.
Jason, you're going to need to inform us what is an accumulation
What the
cylinder.
hell is it?
Have you heard of Livermore? Like Livermore's accumulation cylinder?
Inform us.
Accumulations.
I know.
It's just basically like a 14-point schematic constructed by Jesse Livermore back in like the 20s, like the 1920s.
You're giving CT folks so much credit right now, Jason.
Verge has a Livermore cylinder right now. I think a few people on crypto Twitter have also cited it, but since we're talking about dinosaurs and DeFi, and because we're talking about bleeding edge technology, figured I'd just put that out there.
Oh, it's like a rising, broadening wedge. That's
A rising, broadening wedge that it breaks
Yeah.
north out of. This is kind of
that
like
breaks up out of, yeah.
it's kind of like my Shopify / Aave chart, but it's the reverse.
Can you stop bringing up Shopify chart? No one wants to know about your Shopify chart, dude. Every single stream you like try. Are you like an equity owner in Shopify? Are you the CEO of Shopify?
No, I wish.
Yeah, no kidding.
It was
Every
the
single stream.
Guys, I got a jet. Jordan, thanks for having inviting me over. Brian, thanks for hosting, man. Path, nice to kick it with you. And Jason, nice to meet you. I'm looking forward to seeing that that price come true, hopefully for all of us.
Nice to meet you too. I've actually met you before, but nice to meet you again.
that was a dot.
Jealous? Jealous? The look on Jordan's face, right? All right. Cool. Well, hit me up then, Jason. It'd be great to chat again, man. Thanks for having me on, Brian. I'll talk to you guys soon. All right.
See you, buddy.
All right. Cheers.
How my video is going to break again.
Maybe Jason is like real name's not Jason, but Jason is like maybe he's Barry Silbert or something.
That's what I would prefer.
We've all met Jason at some point in our lives. Jason was my my midwife when I was born. Jason was the doctor that delivered me.
Awesome. Let's see here. Almost got this fixed. And there we go.
Jason the movie.
Jason Statham.
I am Jason's raging psoriasis.
Path, did you talk about Ethereum all-time targets, like for the cycle, or just this year? Somebody was asking about whether we could do 10K or not.
Yeah, I think that's possible. I honestly have no idea. If it flips Bitcoin, it can just out of this world. I have no idea.
Do you think flipping Bitcoin is like real?
Yeah, that may or may not be because I have more Ethereum than Bitcoin.
You're shilling your bag here.
Yeah.
If only for a moment, right? Like very, very, very briefly for like a 5-minute candle or something, the market cap is higher. That's all I need. And I don't even want it to happen for any reason other than I'd love to read what they say about it on Twitter. I'd love the day when it happens and go to the maxes who have their podcasts to sell like the Lightning Network to people, and I just love to read their tweets. That's all I want to do. I want to read their tweets. I want to see what they say. I want to know what the cope looks like.
Jason, what are your thoughts on that?
I'm sorry, what were we talking about? Sorry, I was
Flippening.
You're fine.
Oh,
See, it's actually Jason who's providing the plunge protection bid. He was busy making sure that we protect 47.5 or whatever it is that we got to do. Yeah, the flippening of ETH of BTC with ETH.
Actually, I think it's completely real. It will happen within if not 5 years, probably sooner.
What about 6 months?
It depends on how many institutions come in, but considering the timeline of due diligence, it's probably all going to be the people that are heading these large institutions, they will come in first with their personal under very quickly constructed funds and complex structures. And then they will bring their clients' money in first or second. Sorry.
Jason, do you pay attention to like the Grayscale Trust and the Ethereum Trust, and when they start hoovering coins, that being like local bottoms?
Yeah, I pay attention to Grayscale too.
Ethereum definitely like pumped as soon as Grayscale opened back up. Like that was like the day after or something is when we broke out of that all-time high consolidation.
Yeah, definitely. Grayscale is, to put it simply, it's just a way to measure potential future demand. Yeah.
Path, do you look at any of that kind of stuff or just chart?
Yeah. No, I think Grayscale is very useful. It spiked for ZEC recently as well.
They also filed for a Wi-Fi trust, which is
there's a whole bunch of new stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
They also just applied for a maker trust as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Jason, are you a DeFi person?
Yeah.
What's your narrative there?
It's going to eat traditional finance, and its gateway is fintech.
So you think it's got like a long way to go?
It's literally the future. It's the product market fit of Ethereum, and all the first and future use cases are going on Ethereum, and it's going to take away extreme market share from traditional financial incumbents. Yeah.
Listen to the confidence.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's already happened, doesn't it?
Do you think
it's already happening?
Do you think that we'll have like, do the winners exist today? Like, is it going to be Aave or, like Sushi or whatever? Like, are those winners going to be the ones who win in that larger battle, or do you think it's like a Netscape type of thing where somebody's going to come in and stomp all over the existing players?
I kind of don't think it really matters from that viewpoint. What matters is that we have the core innovation, like of automated market makers, of this whole automated system. I think a lot of these protocols definitely have a huge lead. They have a huge lead. Especially when you talk with anyone, even in fintech, which is considered to be like the faster moving finance. If you talk to anyone from traditional finance, they move so slow. So for them to give up their lead, I think they would have to have some serious missteps or bad decision making. But these guys can be the big dogs, I would say, in like the next 2, 3, 4 years, if they just play not to lose and they make the right decisions. But there could very well be a period of consolidation where, some mixture of the protocols we see today and some of the companies and entities in traditional finance or fintech like consolidate into some larger offering. I don't know. But yeah, I think it would be very hard for them to give up this lead, considering how slow traditional moves.
I tend to think every single one of them is going to end up like an all-in-one solution. Like I interviewed the sushi guys yesterday at 4:30 in the morning, and like they're already kind of doing an all-in-one where they've got swaps, lending, margin, like all this stuff kind of in the bento box or whatever they're calling it. But I feel like every single one, like major player, is going to end up with every product. So they really are going to be like a DeFi bank, each one of them,
Yeah, 100%. I actually was talking with a guy who managed a United States kind of like basically $1 billion treasury for one of the United States who's getting into DeFi yesterday, actually. And there's going to be no shortage of demand for this space and for this yield, especially considering what's going on. There's going to be a lot of new businesses launched on top of like these protocols, and they will benefit greatly from the efficiencies that these protocols bring when you compare it versus incumbent like costs, things like that. New companies, they're going to use Maker, they're going to use Compound, they're going to use Aave to essentially bring this value from the real world into DeFi. And when I say bring the value, I mean like bring actual securities through these money markets, through these securitization stacks, you know, you name it. It's happening.
You're making me very much feel like I just need to stay up only for a long time.
Cash is trash, man. Just stay with the future of finance. That's all you got to do.
Dude, you can't talk about Ray Dalio around me. I'll get too excited.
Do you ever feel like you're not long enough, or you don't have enough exposure to the market, even though you spent the last 10 years of your life only working on crypto? You developed a cryptocurrency Twitter account based on memes. You run a crypto Twitter stream. You spend all your day looking at charts. You have your entire net worth and multiples of it leveraged out, and yet you're still somehow not exposed enough to the market.
I mean, I feel that way right this moment.
That's what I felt like when Jason was saying that, like, people are going to use Compound to fucking insider trade and shit.
Yeah, and just to clarify, because I think I botched it a bit, you know, I was talking with a guy who managed a state pension fund in the United States, a multi-billion-dollar state pension fund, and you can't put a cap or a number on the number of people that are just ringing this guy, basically asking them to take their money to put into a DeFi fund or into DeFi strategies or any mixture that they're okay with, you know, the personal custody risk and all that stuff. So yeah, this is not ICOs.
I agree. I think every single one of the Grayscale DeFi products is going to like hypermoon. We're going to leave you out with that bullishness path. What do you want to leave folks with?
So Andrew Yang just tweeted something quite interesting. If you guys have seen that,
can you link it to me?
It's in the Zoom call chat.
He tweeted that if he is made mayor of New York,
I would invest in making the city.
That he will pump Zcash.
He said, I would invest in making the city a hub for BTC and other cryptocurrencies. Is that the top, Kobe? If he gets elected, when's the election?
No, the top is when he does it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
That's the reason he's elected.
Yeah.
I'm saying he's elected, and then New York's running on Bitcoin, and everyone's like paying for their coffee, waiting like 6 minutes for a transaction to go through. Like, it's gone cold. Please, can I have it? That's the top.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Not the top of being the announcement. The top of being it. He's going to win. Like, this is going to happen. That's our market. 250K Bitcoin. Path made that so. Jason said DeFi takes over the world. Aave is going to be like number 3 market cap or something. That'll be the day. We'll leave it with that. Path, did you have anything else?
That's it, pretty much. Yeah. Lots of questions in chat. I can't do it.
Jason, we're going to have to bring you back on. You've got a galaxy brain. I can tell listening to you for like 10 minutes. So I hope you're ready to be a regular guest on Ledger and Kobe Live. Kobe, what do you want people to know before we go?
Next week, we have the greatest, possibly the most commercially successful NFT artist, Beeple, coming to join us to talk about NFTs and his new NFT project. And then the week after that, we have KSI and Calyx coming to talk about their reef bags and the venture from YouTubing into cryptocurrency. Thank you for chilling out with us on this Thursday. Is it Thursday? Thursday.
Today's Thursday.
Evening. See you next Thursday, and the Thursday after, and the Thursday after, and the Thursday after, and the Thursday after until I die.
Thanks for being here. We'll catch y'all next time. Go to ledgerstatus.com/blockfolio. Download it. Congrats, Big Ben, on your $2,000. See you next time.